sensors that are right. Keep it safe and make sure there's no fire. Open to YouTube and look for Keds Fire Protection Answers.
All right, guys, so today we're going to talk about 5-year inspections, 5-year internal pipe inspection, or IPI. So every 5 years, your fire sprinkler needs its colonoscopy or endoscopy, whatever you want to call it. Yes, we're going to take parts apart and we're going to stick a camera in there and look at it. A little invasive. No, not really. There are now types of corrosion that start from the inside of the piping and will eat away at the inside of the piping. Zebra mussels, MIC, or microbiologically induced corrosion. Say that 3 times real fast. Microbiologically induced corrosion, see, I can't even do it. So anyhow, but MIC is not good for your system. You might see nitrogen pumps connected to a system that previously had MIC, because nitrogen is a toxic environment to MIC. They thrive on oxygen, making them very destructive in places with peak roofing where the fire sprinkler piping goes up, because that's hard to get the air out. You might see aerators on the ends of piping to release all the air. And like Walmart's, I've seen them installed a lot. But they don't have peak roofing, which is kind of odd, but they know that they have trapped air. So anywhere where you might have trapped air, you could have corrosion. So every 5 years, the system will need to be drained down, parts and pieces taken apart, looked at, pictures taken, scope cameras sent in to take pictures of the inside of the piping. Your check valves, they'll have to be inspected for functionality, make sure that the pieces move freely inside, that they're not corroded up and gummed up and stuck in an open position. Make sure that they will open with pressure, that they haven't been fused to the body, and check the rubber pieces to make sure that they're not deteriorating. Also, your fire department connection every 5 years should be hydro tested. All piping from the head all the way back to the check valve. That needs to be hydro tested at 200 PSI for 2 hours. If when they're filling that up, the threads at the head leak, it's failed test, because that has to be replaced. So you may see them hook up and then disconnect everything and go, nope, it failed. Well, that's why. Because the threads were bad. And they go bad. If any water gets in that fire department connection and it doesn't drain out, that's why these ball checks are important to be installed on your fire department connection, because it drains the water off and keeps that system dry. Because from that check valve to that head should at all times be dry unless it's in use. So when you have your 5-year inspection done, you'll see a lot of dirty water come out of your system. We will flush that, we will clean things, we will probably make a little bit of a mess in your riser room, but we'll clean it up as best we can. You'll probably see a lot of rusty water in the parking lot. You'll hear us ask, do you have any other inspectors tests or alternate drains? You might see a garden hose run from a drain that's hanging out in the hallway out to a door, so that we can fully drain the system, because that's the point. We want to fully drain it, check everything we can to make sure that there's not a problem. If we find a problem like MIC, or when we start draining the system, we find big chunks of rust or rocks or anything else, it's going to spark what's known as an obstruction investigation. At which point it goes from just taking some pictures to taking a lot of stuff apart to make sure that there's not rocks and sand and stuff inside the drops, blocking the sprinkler head from going off properly, blocking flow at a sprinkler head. If we then find that there's more issues, it's going to start what's called a flushing program, at which point we will pull fire sprinkler drops out, clean them, put them aside, hook up hoses to all of those drop connections, and flush the system. And just keep flushing until we don't get anything. Once that's done, your system should be clean and functional. We'll then reinstall all the drops. If we have to, we'll reinstall new sprinkler heads where we had to pull out old ones, because once you pull out a head, you cannot put it back. It has to be pulled out and replaced. The threads will get damaged from installation and from removal. So just so you're aware of that cost as well. But yeah, it's 5-year IPI. We look for problems. If we find problems, then we do an obstruction investigation. If we find more problems, then we do a flushing program and flush out your system, try and get everything clean as we can, so that we mitigate the problems. Once all that's done, you know, like if we open an inspector's test and nothing comes out, that's a big problem. So we will flush all that out, clean all that out, take all that apart. It could end up with 4 or 5 fitters on site pulling things apart, putting things back together, you know, that kind of thing. Replacing certain things, you know, if we pull apart a piece of pipe and it's got holes all through it, or it's got big blisters on the inside of the piping, yeah, we'll replace it. We won't put that back. Also, with the 5-year IPI, we're looking to see if we have sections of the piping where there's no water. If we pull apart something and there's no water, then that's gonna spark an investigation back to the main, where we make sure that the mechanical tee was drilled in properly and that the hole was actually drilled, not just strapped onto the pipe and the branch line run. We're looking for all kinds of little things, all kinds of problems that could be part of your system. We just want to make sure you're safe and that everything works. 5-year IPI is required by code. Every 5 years, we'll replace the gauges because they're only good for, their calibration is only good for 5 years. We will replace every system gauge. Now, we may only do, if you have a 5-story building, we may only do 5, 3, and 1, because we're permitted by code to skip floors on high-rise buildings or mid-rise buildings. Now, if you've got 2 floors, we're doing both of them. If you've got 3 floors, we'll probably do 1 and 3 and skip 2. And then next year, or next time, next 5 years, we'll do floor 2 instead. That way we only have 1 floor to do. You may see us hook up a hose to an inspector's test to push water back the other way to try and flush out stuff that's stuck inside that pipe, because that does come down the wall and runs all the way to the floor, so there could be a lot of stuff stuck in there. We'll check drains, we'll check your fire department connection piping for animals nesting in there. If you've ever had your fire department connection caps pulled off and left for a short time, rats, birds, whatever, will try and build nests in there because it's a nice dry place, typically. And I've flushed out a lot of nesting material. I've seen fire department connections that had enough nesting material for a small colony in them and had to take a pressure washer and push it out. So there's all kinds of problems that can go wrong, and this is what we do this inspection for, to make sure that when we come to test your system, everything works the way it's supposed to. And that if you ever had a problem, we're going to be fine. You're going to be fine because your system works. Have a great day. Thanks again for tuning in. Send me an email at this address if you have questions, concerns, comments, or you just want to say hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Watch the videos in the next segment. And Send this channel to those that you think would value the information I'm giving out for free.
When you find your alarm sounds off in the night, don't make mistakes, get answers that are right. Keep it safe and make sure there's no fire. Open to YouTube and look for Kids Fire Protection Answers. Kids Fire Protection Answers. Got questions, he's got answers that make sense. Don't wait the channel to open. Kids Fire Protection Answers.